Good morning, I'm Aziff. You're watching Morning Headlines and it's the 16th of April. Now, if there's one question you have to ask yourself today, is the question of, are you racist? Apparently, Washington Post thinks so. There you have it. Malay Mail runs the headline, "Let's fight racism together," says the Unity Panel, the NUCC. Now, the Daily Mail ran a survey asking the question of whether or not you're okay with having a neighbor of a different race. And these are the results. As you can see, the blue areas are countries which are not racist. The red areas are countries which are racist. Now, I find the problem with the survey is that they only ask one question. So you're not taking in the whole wide range which could determine how do you determine a country is racist based on one question. A bit unfair if you ask me. And I think the Unity Panel would like to agree. So Malaysia is not as racist as Washington Post would like it to believe. But let's move on to another story here. We have Utusan on the headline running the never-ending saga of hudud. And as you can see there, PAS tak tunduk. This is reference that PAS is not giving up. PAS is not backing down against the decision to run and implement hudud in Kelantan. Of course, PKR and DAP disagree. And this is a problem within the party politics. And I'm not surprised really, because this is the same story ran in Sinar Harian. If you can see the headline here, Selangor belum sedia laksanakan hudud. Selangor obviously is not ready to take on the hudud law, especially with problems that you cannot reconcile and solve the differences between civil law and Sharia law. So how are you going to implement hudud in the first place, right? But not surprised anyway. But another different story here, going back to the water issue, which is still ongoing. We have Murid Mangsa Catuan. So school children now have to ration water at schools. So we're talking about problems. Let's go on to solutions, which is something the New Straits Times running right this morning. Now, the solution to our water issues is the Pahang and Selangor water tunnel, which is being built even as we speak, right? So what they're going to do is that they're going to modify the infrastructure, bring in water from Pahang River to Selangor in order to solve our water woes. Now, NST runs a very praising story on the water tunnel. However, if you look at the Star, the Star is a bit more critical. Now, they have this headline, "From Tunnel to River." But if you read the report, the Star is a bit more critical, saying that it will make no difference. We may as well wait for Langat 2 to be finished building. But at this point of time, with all these water shortages, I think Selangor folks will take anything they can get, right? But let's move on to the next story. We have The Sun, which runs on a different tangent. You have woman gets deaf. Now, this woman apparently, a few years ago, she and her stepsister smothered her mother to death. Now, what's interesting is that this picture here, you would expect a picture of a hardened criminal, right? But you see a picture of a woman who has remorse in the face, holding back tears. Now, what should be noted is that women do not generally get death sentence in this country. I think cases we have before, Mona Fendi, the two Iranian women who are caught for drug trafficking. Women are not generally known to receive death sentences in this country. Interesting story by The Sun. But let's move on to Berita Harian. Now, Berita Harian runs two different stories here, but let's go on to the first one. Project Lembu tak jalan. So apparently what's happening here is that a plot of government land is being sold for cows. Now I'm sensing a sort of a national feedlot scandal here going on, because this land is being sold for 1.2 million on the internet. Now it reeks of corruption, but we're not sure. But as of course written here, Berita Harian claims that it's an investigative report, terbongkar. But let's look on to another story here. Yesterday, Perak lost to Johor by 1-0. And interestingly, what came out of it was a riot. Apparently, Perak supporters were angry, and you can see this on the sports page. Now, you can tell that I don't really go to the sports page, but there you go. A full story, a full report comes out here. A few people were injured, including policemen and the media. Now, I think the question coming here is that sports is supposed to be a tool of unity to bring people together. But the fact that now, in stadiums, people are throwing flares, they're throwing firecrackers. I mean, I want to go to a stadium knowing that it's going to be safe, but when I don't even feel safe to enjoy watching football together, I mean, where next? I think we should really tighten up security in these stadiums, right? I think that's something which FAM should really look into. But let's move on to Metro. Metro runs the same story. There you go. They're talking about the same match yesterday and, of course, the protests that followed. Over here, they're talking about how a mother was kicked out of her home just because she called her son lazy. And what makes it worse was that the husband actually followed suit. The husband actually agreed with the son. Something which Harian Metro likes to run. Very tabloidy. Teresa Kok, kena ragut? Not really. Find out a bit more about that if you want to. But that's all I have for you in the morning's news. I'm Aziff. Thank you for watching Morning Headlines for BFM 89.9.